Hi crafty friends, it's Donna here. I've got a set of 3 cards for you today that use the Sweet Rainbow die from Paper Rose Studio. This die cuts individual stripes for the different colours of the rainbow, and each of those rainbow arcs has a different design on it, like crosses or hearts or different things, and so you end up with a gorgeous modern looking rainbow. I've paired them today with some really bright cardstock. This is part of a pack from Paper Rose called Brights, and it has a range of colours, but in particular it has lots of oranges and pinks and reds, and so I've chosen just those colours for today's cards. The first thing I did was to choose 8 different colours and cut a full rainbow out of each of them. This is a fairly intricate die, so it's a good idea to use a metal shim if you have one, and to run it through your machine a few times. Once everything was cut, I pulled apart all the arcs, but I kept the outline pieces because I'm going to use those to help me line up my rainbows nice and straight. I have a piece of post-it tape along the bottom of my card, and I'm just looking through the holes where the pieces of rainbow are going to fit in and making sure I have my rainbow lined up straight. Next, I'm going to run lines of glue around and stick in the individual coloured pieces. I'm doing this just a few at a time, and then pressing them down nice and flat. Once they're all stuck down, I'm going to try and get my negative piece away from the card quite quickly, just in case there's any stray glue underneath my border. For this next card, I'm going to use the border as well as the rainbow strips. And so instead of individually gluing down each strip, I'm able to get a big piece of double-sided tape and just stick everything to that. As you can see, that double-sided tape is incredibly sticky and it gives me no end of grief. This time I've chosen to use an orange border and just pink and purple insets. And in my final card, I'm going to make this the sun instead of a rainbow. I've trimmed off some of the more annoying sticky edges as I go, and then I'll do a final trim at the end. For the third card, I'm using a black background and also 3 partial rainbows. The first one on the side here is pretty much a full rainbow, and then the other 2 are smaller. I'm going to use the same technique that I used for the first card of sticking down my frame to glue the pieces into, only this time I'm going to tape the whole card to my desk so that nothing moves. I just cut away the part of my frame that I wouldn't need to make the smaller rainbows. Once I've taken off all my outlines, it's simply a matter of trimming up all the pieces of rainbow that hang over the edge. And now to construct the cards. I was a bit of a bad YouTuber here and I forgot to film the start of this process. I'm using the Happy Birthday stitched die, and I actually had a bunch of letters left over from previous projects, and so I've fished out the letters for Happy Birthday in grey, and I've chosen a bright blaze orange strip to go across this card. In order to line the letters up straight, I've cut another outline. I actually keep this piece of card in the packaging with the die so that I can use it whenever I want to line this sentiment up. I've used a little bit of foam tape to pop the sentiment up, and that's all I've done for this first card. For this next card, I've used the Wave Borders metal die, and I've used this to cut a piece of sea green paper. I'm going to make a card with the sun rising behind the ocean. The sentiment for this card reads, "Sending sunshine." I've glued the sending straight down to the card and popped the word sunshine up with some foam tape. Finally, my psychedelic card. I decided it needed a really funky sentiment to match the card, and I found this HB to you in the big black and white sentiments. I really would have liked to have used a smaller circle die on this, but looking at the die over the sentiment, I could see that it was going to be cutting it really fine. And it's a little bit hard to tell exactly where the edges are under the die. So I cut a circle out of a piece of paper and laid that over the sentiment, and I could see that it just wasn't quite going to make it. So I moved up to a bigger sized circle and then used the yellow paper to cut a slightly larger circle to frame that. Once again, I grabbed my Japanese hardware store foam tape and popped that up. Because this is a black card rather than just a black card front, I've got a piece of paper that's just a little bit smaller than the card and stuck it inside with a piece of double-sided tape. Otherwise, I could always use a gold or a silver or a white gel pen. I'm going to leave you with some pictures of the completed cards. My poor camera struggled to capture all of the really bright colours, but I did my best. If you've enjoyed this video, pressing the thumbs up is a great way to let me know. And if you'd like to see future videos, please press the subscribe button. Thank you for watching and stay safe.